Welcome to the Hillbilly RV channel. Today we are working on a BAL Accu-Slide room. We're replacing the motor gearbox. Here's the part number I'm using. That's the high torque. Anytime I replace one of these, I always go back with the high torque, and I hope it's a little bit tougher. Let's just go ahead and get started on this one. I'm going to start by getting the fascia off up here. I did support the room with a ball jack. I didn't jack the room up, but I did support it, and I'll tell you why here in just a few minutes. There's corner stars off. There's one on each end, one in the middle. This piece of trim has to come off here. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, it does. That's where our screws are at. Yep, that's where our screws are at. I went to BAL's website this morning and watched a video on replacing, I was looking for a video on replacing the gearbox motor on a flush floor room, because I'm not sure I've ever done one on a flush floor. I didn't know if it was any different than a regular room. What I thought was really funny was the only video on BAL's website showing you replacing one of these was a flush floor. I know there used to be another video on not flush floor, but I guess they updated and they made some changes. One of the changes this piece of trim has to come off also. One of the changes they made was supporting the room with a jack, which I'm pretty sure their video didn't show doing that before. So I did put a jack under this one just to support it. Now we take our trusty Milwaukee M18 hammer and get these screws out of this fascia. There's a piece of rubber trim over here. I'm not sure whether we have to take it loose. No, we don't. There's one piece of fascia. There's the other piece. There's our motor and gearbox. So, yeah. And find some leaf litter. I'll throw that outside. Let me just show you real quick while we're changing this gearbox. I mean, you might be able to see let me get you closer. The gearbox is swelled, broken, so there's a bunch of tore up gears in there. Let me show you what it does. That's all it does. It makes terrible noises. Let me go grab a couple more things and we'll get started. One of the differences in that new video was they wanted you to take a zip tie and put it in the chains so that you didn't have to worry about timing the chains. I mean, that's kind of the first I've heard of that. I've never experienced that issue. We're just gonna leave it real loose. You'll see why in a little bit. But I'm just putting it in the very first link past the sprocket. I mean, I have in the past, you know, kind of struggled with knowing for sure that I had the chain in the right place, but I've never seen it be an issue. But I just thought this was pretty cool because it just makes real sure you don't have any issues getting those chains back where they belong. So we'll go ahead and get our anti-vibration blocks off of here. Get all 8 of those off. We're going to be adjusting all of these cables. There's 2 more on that end, 2 more on this end. Now we're going to start loosening these cables up so we can get these chains off the gearbox. So we're going to start with the center one. Start loosening it up. And as you can see, the room is all the way out, fully extended. That's how we want it. I don't think there's room to get a ratchet wrench in there on that. Oh yeah, there is too. That bolt looks really short to me. Alright, we're going to stop right there. Now we're going to, this one's already super loose, so we'll take it to the maximum. Took the nut off, and I'm just going to start it back on there by 4 or 5 threads. Always hold your cables when you're turning these adjuster nuts on this smooth part right here where you don't damage the cable. Then you take your ratchet wrench, start adjusting this one. All right, now there's another bracket here. There's one on that end, there's one on this end. I'm gonna do the exact same thing on those brackets, and I don't think you need to watch me do every one of those. And actually, this is not a how-to video. If you're doing this repair, go to BAL RV's website, watch their videos, not mine. Mine's for entertainment purposes only. So let me get the rest of these cables loosened up, and then I'll be right back. All right, have all the cables loose now. Loose enough, I think. Let's see if the chains will come off of the motor. Yes, they will. Just lay that on top of the room. Just remember that the right side of the room goes on the bottom. Sprocket. I usually find it's easier to get the motor off there first and get that one off. So let's do that. Tie down on the motor wire. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, so got that loose. Get those wires unhooked there in a minute. Let's go ahead and get this motor off of here. Might as well just drop them all. No, let's don't do that. Too hard to pick them up off the floor. Any of y'all notice how the ground keeps getting farther away the older you get? Why is that? How's that happen? All right, last one. Now we should be able to get this off a lot easier. Yeah, should be able to get it off a lot easier. That sprocket really hangs on that chain, which is good. You want it to do that. Just not when you're trying to take it apart. Alright, that zip tie is too tight. I brought in another zip tie. I'm gonna put it one link back from that one. Cut this one off. Oops, bumped y'all. The reason I haven't unhooked my motor wires yet is because I forgot to bring something to cut with. Okay, this ought to be a little bit easier now. I certainly hope. Okay, there we are. Lay that one on top of the room. Do that. And bring over our new motor. Go ahead and put this one on. Make sure we get it timed correctly. I think I better go around one tooth. All right, I like it. All right, let me, let's see, we can go ahead and do this. We're gonna get this chain on too. Might as well, right here. I like that. See my zip ties straight across there, and so is that one. Yep, should be super duper close. Now we just screw the motor back to the wall, drop another screw, lag bolt. Would y'all pick those two up I dropped, please? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. All right. I will pick those two I dropped off the floor, put them in, go get something to cut those zip ties and wires off, and I'll be right back. Let's start adjusting our cables. We're going to start out with the out brackets. The sticker's gone off this one, probably stuck to the roof somewhere, but it is our out cable on that side. That's our out cable on this side, and I can verify that because that bracket says in, so I know for a fact that this one is out right here. Okay, so let's start, might as well just start over here. Let's start by adjusting the center adjuster. right. Don't want to go too far, which I think I've already done. Because we gotta want to make sure that these are, yeah, those nuts are up on there good. So as always, when you're adjusting these cables, hold your cable. Now, I'm gonna assume that this is the bottom, because the top one on this side is the bottom, so that should be the bottom on this side. So we can go ahead and start adjusting that. What we're looking for here is we want to look at the bottom of the room, right down here. Make sure it is out all the way by looking at the brackets. I think I might have to go get a light. Combination of looking with the flashlight and looking with the hands. Still needs some more. And BAL and BAL does suggest that you take all the fascia off, which would make it a little bit easier to see, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't take anything apart that I don't have to. So let's go a little bit more. Let me have a look-see again. We got the motor mounted. Let's go ahead and, you know what, no. I was gonna try and re-edit this. I made a big mistake. I don't know if y'all caught it. The bottom chain, the one that I was adjusting, I had the chain flopped, so the bracket was on the wrong side of the sprocket, so I had to fix it. I put my zip ties back in and everything. So yeah, my bad. It's you know, I can make excuses, but you know what? Just sometimes I make a mistake. Alright. I'm really happy with that now. Bracket's on the correct side. So I had this bracket out here. So that would not have worked. Would not have worked. So let's get the other side on. Let's make sure that everything is correctly oriented. Make sure our chain is where it belongs. Yeah. Now let's start this all over again. To be honest, how many people noticed that it was in the wrong place? So now what I'm gonna do is do exactly what I did again, and I'm gonna adjust the out cable, center cable, or the center adjuster first, and then the out cable, and get it all the way adjusted, and then we'll start on the other end. I'll bring y'all back at that time. All right, that one's back where it was at, and oriented correctly. Now let's do the bottom out over here. One good way to tell how close you're getting is just tug on that cable, watch the bottom of the room and see if it moves. It didn't. So let me look with my light. That bracket is right against the right against the side of the camper, so that's good. All right, now we do the bottom. Do the bottom tops. Do the top out on both sides, and then we'll move to the end cable. So let me get those done. I'll tell you what. Let's do this one. There's something kind of important here. So when we're adjusting the top out, what we want to do is just get this bracket straight up and down this way by adjusting this cable. Which essentially is putting the same amount of tension on the top and bottom cable. We're not adjusting the top of the room because it's already touching. Just kind of the nature of a slide room. Good idea to put your hand on that cable when you're adjusting it. Make sure that your pliers aren't slipping. Okay, I'm happy with that. That bracket is straight up and down, this way. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's straight up and down the other way, this way, and that way. Is that making sense? And I'm going to go ahead and snug this the adjuster nut up on that center adjustment. This actually got a jam nut on it. It's really hard to get to. It's easier when you get it really close to just go ahead and hold the jam nut and twist the other nut, the adjuster nut, in. Shouldn't have to go just a smidge. Right like that. All right, we'll do the same thing to this out bracket, and then we will move to the end brackets. The end cables, I guess I should say. I feel like Mr. Wilson. Old dummy me forgot to push the... Did I forget to push the record button again? I don't know. Anyway, we got both the out cables, all four of the out cables adjusted, and then I moved to the end cables, and all we're doing is just really just kind of snugging those up real good. Because if you watch BAL's video, this bracket's way over here, so you can actually feel the tension in the cables, but you can see where our bracket ends up over here. So we can't really feel the tension in those end cables until we run the room in a little bit. I don't know. I'm just kind of going by the tension on the chain. Now I'm just lining this bracket up, which essentially means we just got the same amount of tension in both cables. Alright, so I think that's good. Tighten up our center adjuster. Make sure everything's nice and straight as possible. Okay. And we'll do the same thing on the other end. and then we'll try to run the room in and out and see if it works. Okay, everything's adjusted. The out cables, I can check the tension on them because I can reach those cables. Like I say, the end cables I can't reach. Oh, I see what's going on. My battery's dying. Okay, I forgot to push record a while ago. My battery's dead. Let me change battery, and then we'll make the motor connections, and then we'll run it in and see what happens. All right, see if she comes in. Before I get all the way in, I wanted to just check those end cables. I run it in a little bit and run it out just a little bit. I just want to check the tension between my fingers. Oh, if I could reach it. Oh, I can't reach it. Yeah, I can't reach anything. All right. Come on in a little bit. All the way, I guess. In and out. Just double checking everything. I think both the end cables can be just a smidge tighter. Let me make that adjustment. No, we'll shut the camera off, but I'm gonna run it in and out again and double check everything. Yeah, I'm here by myself, so once I run the room in, I can't get back in here to even look at anything. So yeah, whatever. So let me make my final adjustments, and then do have to put the anti-vibration blocks on all 8 cables. When I'm finished, just a little foam block. It goes right on the nut. Keeps those nuts from vibrating loose when you're driving down the road. So let me make all my adjustments. Put my anti-vibration thingies on, and then we'll put the fascia back on. Be done. Okie dokie. All done. Another job well done. So yeah, that's it. Like I say, don't use this video as a DIY thing. Go to BAL RV. Just if you Google BAL RV, it'll come right up. Go to their website, watch their videos, yeah, this is not a bad job. It's a little time consuming, just a lot of steps. And yes, I did take my support outside. Forgot to mention that, taking that out. But yeah, that's it. As always, thanks for watching. I am going to go up the road and fix another one, I know for a fact. So while I do that, y'all have a fantastic day, and we will catch you next time.